Thank you all for joining us today on our MS and AI in Business Information session, where we are going to give you a really high-level overview of the program offered and some resources that will support you in your journey here at Simon within this program. My name is Mike Droll, and I am Assistant Director of MS Admissions here at Simon. I'm going to go over the agenda first so you know what we will be getting into. I'm going to introduce a couple of folks that are joining me from different offices. Here at Simon, we're going to go over the curriculum, the student experience with our Office of Student Engagement. We're going to talk about kind of how you'll navigate your career journey here at Simon with folks from our Benet Career Management Center. And then finally, I'll go over some next steps in the admissions process and allow for some question and answer from you, the audience. And thank you for those who have submitted some pre-submitted questions for us, so we can touch upon those as well as the questions you submit all through the Q&A function on the Zoom. What I'll preface that with as well is please submit questions that are broad and rather than specific to your personal profile or your candidacy. We want those questions to be helpful to everyone on the webinar, questions that folks in our offices here can kind of address from a broad perspective as opposed to singularly. So we will talk about how you can connect with us on the admissions side about your individual candidacies at the end. So don't worry, we won't leave you behind, but want to make sure the questions that we address here in this webinar are a little bit more holistic for all of the folks on the call and really help everybody. Okay. So here are the folks that are on the call. Like I said, Mike Troll, in the admissions side of things. I'm joined by a couple folks in our Career Center, Katie Mulhern and Sankeet Gomez. I have Dennis Brulou here from the Ainslie Office of Student Engagement, Liza Moore from our faculty, and current student as well. So you'll get to hear the current student perspective in the AI and business program. So I've Phil here with me as well. We are going to start by turning things over to Liza Moore on the faculty side. So Liza, take it away.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mike. And I'm really glad to be here talking about the MSAIB. This introduction slide actually says Faculty Director for MSBA, which I also am, but I'm the Faculty Director for the MSAIB. So sorry about that. I missed that in editing. So I serve as both, which is exciting for me. I was very excited to become the Faculty Director of this new program. It's a program we talk a lot about. We were just talking about yesterday, but developing this curriculum to meet the changing and evolving needs in this space. I've been at Simon since 2018, and before that, I taught at the State University of New York at Buffalo, and I teach business analytics at Simon. I teach in almost all the programs, MSBA, MSMA, MSBA. I teach some MSF. I get some MBA students. Previously at SUNY Buffalo, I taught primarily in finance. I taught financial modeling and also managerial economics. Before coming into academics, I worked for a metals manufacturing company in Buffalo, New York, and I started my career there as a young programmer working in the production and inventory control department. And I moved up into business development, doing some analysis work. It got me around the world, traveling with the salespeople and the application engineers, which was really great. I went back after some time off to work as part of a strategic turnaround team when we got a new owner, and I was their strategic analyst. And then I accepted a position at the end of that project as the Director of Business and Information Systems. And it was a new role that had been carved out from IT, reported directly to the president. And the president at the time's idea was to really make IT strategic, and not just sort of the department that keeps the phones working and the printers going, but also leverages the data that we collected, at all parts of our business, as well as from the industry and our competitive analysis, leverages that for business value, competitive advantage, And we spent the last 2, 3 years of my time there really working on this, both working on developing the tools and also working on communicating it and convincing people and showing how valuable this kind of an investment and effort can be. So it's really exciting for me to get to teach students who are either making a career change or coming into the industry as new entrants, because I really know how much value you are going to bring to the companies that are looking for innovative and enthusiastic and creative analysts and applications of all the cutting edge tools that we teach, as well as the foundations of business that we cover as well. So I get to talk about the curriculum. And so it's an exciting time to embark on a career in artificial intelligence and business analytics. It really is. Things are changing quickly. And yet the fundamentals have never been more important. So it's a great time to be in our program, and it's a really exciting time for me to get to teach in it. I've got a little slide here that I took from a McKinsey report from a couple years ago, and we could add some balls around this little atom here now, I think, with some of the new artificial intelligence. But still, I like it because data at the heart of these, what they call disruptive models, changing the nature of competition in the way we do business. And I think data is very much the heart of what we do, and reconsidering, what we consider data, and a lot of that in like generative AI, thinking about data as not just numbers or spreadsheet type data, but also numbers as language, text, audio, things like that. So we continue to see this evolve, this idea of how data and the ways to use data is changing businesses. And the next slide is another a couple bullets that I pulled from a blog post talking about flourishing careers, and the top one talking about analytics professionals, because I like the quote that says, everyone and their mom wants an analytics person, which I love as someone who gets to work with future analytics professionals. And I really like how, it talks about, the range of skills that people are looking for, and they're all skills that we teach in our program. And the bottom here, the linchpin idea, where you don't necessarily see this in job postings, but what companies are really looking for are people who can pull lots of elements together in the company. So using the cutting edge techniques, doing the technical work, but also communicating it out to other parts of the business, and understanding the business and the technology and the data all at once. And there's a huge need and perceived value for this. And we work hard to bring this into all of our coursework as well. So a real high level look at our curriculum. We have, again, both a strong foundation in the business side and the basics, as well as cutting edge AI-driven toolkits. So you will learn artificial intelligence and machine learning in several of your courses. You'll also take courses in stats and programming for analytics. There's a data management course. And then we have some more substantive courses on economics and marketing and professional communication. So things that really give you the ability to be this whole package that companies are looking for when you go out on the job. We use a lot of real world cases and experiential learning. And some of our courses are specifically designed around this, but all of our courses incorporate applications of what they're teaching to different business contexts where these tools could be used. We are a STEM designated program, obviously, in artificial intelligence, and all the things that brings with it. This slide takes our courses and sort of sorts it into categories. It also gives you a chance to see the different programming languages that you will use. So our first courses are in Python. Programming for analytics and statistics are taught in Python. We have a data management course that covers SQL. In causal and predictive analytics, which is an elective for the MSAIB, you have a chance to be exposed to R if you'd like, if that's something that's interesting to you or something you want to add to your resume. Prescriptive analytics, big data, and Python actually also bring in some other tools as well. And then textual analytics using Python and a lot of its packages. The grid, I think, shows more examples of the electives, when they are, and what the choices are. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get later to the grids. We also have the business communication course in the fall, working on professional communication, teamwork, creating compelling presentations, and again, communicating technical and analytical, both data results and techniques, is such a great skill, and you get to practice that in your MGC course. Finally, there's a capstone project, which is a consulting style course where we will have an actual real world client with an artificial intelligence challenge, and that the student teams will work on understanding and then delivering at the end of the semester to the client. So I would encourage you to think of all of the skill sets. Obviously, our AI in business is a technical program with a heavy emphasis on programming, as well as AI and machine learning methodologies, and working with data visualization. But again, to think about how that connects to all the substantive business knowledge that you need in general, and then as it relates to whatever business you go into. As well as all of the personal skills and leadership and self-management skills that you bring with you. Your strategic thinking, your emotional intelligence, your creativity and curiosity, your ethics, all of these things together combine to make, I think, powerful analysts. And again, your ability to function within an organization, to make change, to help, especially in these cutting edge areas, bridge from the old to the new, help convince maybe people that are more on the skeptical side, help bring a reasoned approach to people who maybe are excited about AI but aren't exactly sure what it can and can't do. I think in these new areas that are really cutting edge, it's more important than ever to be able to enter the conversation about how these techniques can be used responsibly, used effectively, and that our MSAIB analysts are the ones who are going to be looked to do that, because everybody's excited about AI, but not everybody knows what it is and how it works. So you're going to be the one in the room that everyone turns to weigh in on this, and our program is designed to prepare you for that on all levels. I put in a slide about the capstone project. I often get questions about it. So as I said, it's a full semester 14-week course. We will bring in industry partners. I like to go out and talk with companies. I always ask them, describe a challenge that you have or a problem, something that you'd love to do but don't have the resources right now to devote to it. And we'll bring students to it and see what we can do. We get a range of industries and a range of functional areas. Will be our, now that we have the AI in business, it opens up all kinds of different areas that we can go with this too. So I'm really excited to work on these projects. And it's really an opportunity to bring all your coursework, again, all of the artificial intelligence and machine learning that you've learned, also your presentation skills and your teamwork skills and your analytics design skills and your problem solving skills to bear on a real world project and something to add to your portfolio as you go out and talk to employers about what you've done and what you want to do next. These are the grids, and you can find the most up-to-date versions on our website. This is kind of the format that we show them in, so I wanted to keep it so they'll look familiar. And you can see the sequence of the courses, how they line up, and when you take them. This is the non-internship track, so this has the start in the fall with programming for analytics and runs through the end of spring B the following year. You can see you start with a lot of the core classes, programming for analytics, core stats, economics, and marketing strategy. We have a course, analytics design and applications, which talks about taking the the technical methods and applying them to different scenarios, working on, again, sort of a consulting approach. And then your professional communication runs through the whole fall. Your electives start in Fall B, as well as your first AI and business course is in Fall B. And then spring, you have your capstone project, a couple other core courses, data management in spring A, and then two AI and textual analytics, machine learning courses in spring B. We've got social media and text analytics, which focuses on sort of fine-tuning aspects of working with large language models, and then AI and deep learning, which talks about the neural networks and training process. So they go together really nicely. You also have two electives between spring A and spring B that you can choose from. Well, no, there's three electives you choose to. Sorry. The difference with the internship track is we hold the capstone project until the following fall, which gives you the summer to do an internship, and then you return in the fall. Most of the fall project is done remotely. There's an in-person element at the end where you return to campus, and we have a celebration at the end of the semester. But the coursework up to the summer is the same. You just extend using the internship and then do your project after your internship in the fall. I think that's my last slide. So I will, happy to take questions. We'll take questions at the end. If you have them, put them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them. I'll also invite you, if you have questions anytime about our MSAIB program, I'm really happy to have you shoot me an email. I will write back. If it's easier to jump on Zoom for a few minutes, we can find a time to get together and talk. My door is always open, metaphorically speaking. You can find me on the Simon faculty directory. Please reach out anytime. Happy to talk about this program. I really enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Liza. And that is really one, I'm glad you covered, the project course. I know we get a lot of questions and admissions about, how that really relates to the job search and the practical experiences you're going to get here. And another thing that I really appreciate it there at the end too is our faculty really do, they want to talk to you, they want you to succeed, and as Liza said, their doors are always open. And being such a smaller cohort, you get that opportunity to connect with faculty. So thank you so much, Liza, for saying that. I'm going to turn things over now to Dennis in our Ainslie Office of Student Engagement to talk about advising and the student experience here through them. So, Dennis,
thanks,
take
Mike.
it away. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks, Liza. I think what Liza is trying to project here is something we all try to do. Doors open, engaging with each other. My office is called the Office of Student Engagement. We see ourselves as kind of the wraparound services, wraparound experience to your classroom. We have three components. We would be your primary advisor for academic, social, and personal needs. That's referrals as you're thinking through what classes you might want to take, which of the three opportunities later in the program you might want to align with. That would be your advisor, and they would be accessible to you as a group or individual basis. We also have student life, which is what you would traditionally think of on a college campus in the U.S. Clubs, social activities, wellness activity. We have 26 different clubs to which you might either just be a participant or maybe be assigned the VP role for our MS program and lead the club in different ways. Then we also have experiential learning, which also is real world learning opportunities that are practice runs to some degree, leading to that capstone experience that Liza talked about. So really want you to see your work in the classroom and work in life and work at Simon as all-inclusive to meet all of your goals. And so these three areas of the student experience, Ainslie Office for Student Engagement, that's what we're trying to put together for you. the next. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Mike's in charge of clicking through the slides, so thank you, Mike. So to break it down a little bit more, advising is a key component, something that you would come to OSC, what we call OSC, Office of Student Engagement, for academic support, personal support. We also do a lot of like group lunches, presentations, things to think about. How do you network with each other? How do you think about careers within that? You don't see career listed in the advising appointments. You're going to hear from Soundkit in a little bit. That is a separate division solely focused on your career, but we all dovetail into each other. You're always working in teams, and so my group supports your team in the building of that team, helping to mediate any issues that result from that. Anybody who's in the workplace now knows that teams are where it's at in working, and it's a great way of getting projects done, but there's always some tension because we're all people. So my team helps support that. Next slide. Great. And so here's a little more of a breakdown of what my division of student life would bring you. We certainly have a full orientation program to get you acclimated, get you working. We do some initiative on the team building of the teams and help you kind of figure that out. We introduce your faculty in your program at the onset. We introduce early in fall the different clubs, which are broken down into professional clubs, some diversity and education style clubs, and some more social fun clubs. And we, encourage people to at least kind of attach themselves to 2 clubs so they can round out their assignment experience. But again, there are 26. Some people want to do all of them. You can't. But if we can get you to do 2, I think we know that your experience will be enhanced. Certainly networking events, your work with employers, alumni, leads on jobs, that sort of thing are all kind of baked into your experience. We have things like diversity conference, women's conferences coming up. We have the fall ball, which is a large celebration in early November. We have a lot of community service opportunities. We have Pieces, which works in the local school system where our students go in and teach financial literacy in the K through 12 environment. And there are opportunities to give back. Go ahead. Next. Great. And then lastly, the third division here is experiential learning. We have what you might call student government, which is MAC, Master's Advisory Council. You could apply and be a leader there. Again, you could be part of the clubs or organization. We have case competitions that folks may travel all over the country, either virtually or in person, to compete in different case competitions available to them. Allows them, again, to apply what they're learning in the classroom or what they have learned in the workplace and apply it to real world examples with true clients. Project courses, as Liza was talking about, your capstone, but then there may be other project courses embedded into your program. And then real high level experiential opportunities like the Meliora Fund, Venture Fund, and Simon Vision Consulting, which again is a way of bringing together a group of students with a community partner. That community partner could be the U of R funds that we try to help build for the endowment, but it could be a local business, it could be a local nonprofit, and bringing people together to help for themselves have a real world problem to solve, but giving back to the community in which the expertise and nature of our students can really help deliver some problem solving for local businesses. So I will stop there. I think that's my last slide.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dennis. That is your last slide, but I do want to bring Phil, our current student, in for just a moment to touch upon his experience, because I know I met him through the admissions process, and right off the bat, really wanted to get involved through the Office of Student Engagement, some clubs and organizations. As that's something that really intensifies and makes for a fruitful student experience. So, Phil, if you wouldn't mind hopping on and talking about some of the clubs and organizations that you are involved in or interested in, and how that has impacted your student experience.
Yeah, so thank you, Mike, for bringing that up, and thank you, Daniel, for sharing. So I'm a current student at Simon Business School. I feel like the clubs and activities at Simon really provide excellent opportunities to build connections and also just enhance the overall learning experience. So I see for building connections, I see the clubs really create an environment where you can connect with peers, alumni, and also industry professionals, which really expand your network. And this is really invaluable for the career advancement and also exploring different industries. So talking about industries, I feel like all the Simon clubs really focus on a specific industries like consulting, finance, marketing, and technology. So personally, I'm joining a role as a consultant at Simon Vision Consulting, and I'm specifically focused on building marketing strategies for a local company at Rochester. And then I feel like that's really a practical experience for me, just to I'm able to build my just put my technical skill that I learned from the classes and bring that up to a project base. So I feel like it's a great opportunity for me to do my work and also connect with people, connect with other my peers and also company leaders. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Phil, from giving us the perspective from a current student. And if you want to know more about clubs and organizations too, just a little shameless plug too. We have a podcast series called Simon Bizcast, and we recently did one that gives a really broad overview about all of the clubs and organizations that we have to offer. As we know, that really is an important part of the student experience. So, and Phil, something you said leads right into kind of our next group of slides with our Career Center, our Benet Career Management Center. You talked about how there's kind of a connect between them. So I would love to turn it over next to Sankit in our Benet Career and Management Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone based on wherever you're logging in from. My name is Sanket Gomase, and I work as a career advisor for the MS in AI in Business program at the Benet Career Management Center. I've been in this role for almost 3 years now, and fun fact about me, I'm also an alumni of the Simon Business School, so I'm sort of aware of the challenges and the opportunities that await you as you decide to join this program. A little bit about the Career Management Center. It is really the one-stop shop for everything and anything related to careers. And we want to make sure that you have a fruitful and successful career, even before you decide to step foot on Simon's campus. And that brings me to the first point about an onboarding program that we have. It's a very robust online onboarding experience that we have designed for you. It focuses really on helping you explore the industries and functions that you might be interested in, and helps you perform some research about how would your career look like, or how your career journey would look like once you decide to enroll into Simon. And with that, we also have an online resume module, which is run by VMOC, which is an AI-based resume creation software. And that helps you sort of prepare your baseline resume and get advice from your career advisor even before you come to Rochester for your Simon experience. Now, once you're here, we want to make sure that from day one, we are imparting you with the skills that are needed to have a successful career. And we have something known as the Career Education Series. It's a 4-part workshop that gives you insights into careers that might be right for you. What are the skills needed in those careers? How can you build a strong profile to get into those roles? How is career search in the US different in some or the other ways, and how it might be in some other countries, and how you can navigate successfully through that career search in a new country such as US. We also have a a workshop within the career education series on how to effectively create a strong brand and a strong pitch so that employers want to hire you, and then how to leverage networking in your career search, because it is so much important here to leverage networking to have a successful career. And that brings me to the third point about alumni spotlights and events. Throughout the year, we organize alumni panels, visits to companies sometimes, and events that help you explore careers, know more about the alums who are working in careers that you might be interested in. And just last week, I was with our MSBA and MSMA students at the New York City Career Treks, a career trek that we organize every year. And we met with alums. We did some alumni panels about career exploration, finding the correct career fit for you. And we also had a few networking events with alums. So apart from the Benet Career Management Center doing career treks, the Simon clubs, especially the professional clubs like Simon Marketing Association or Simon Data Analytics Club, they too have year-long events which are related to, career exploration and finding jobs. We do have workshops and webinars throughout the year based on where you are in your career search. So the workshops in the beginning might look very introductory, but as the year advances and you get closer and closer to graduation, they become more advanced and they go coherently with what your career search is all about. So in the end, towards the end of your journey at Simon, your workshops will be more about, how to interview the best and how to negotiate a job offer and things like that. We also have market conversations and company information sessions from time to time. KPMG does an information session every year, and we are connected with several other companies that might be interested in hiring from Simon, and they do information sessions every year to let students know about the jobs that they have and how they can leverage the resources at Simon to get into those jobs. And lastly, we realize that everyone's career search is different. Everyone comes in with a different set of skills. Everyone has a different story. And so we want to be able to help you at whichever stage you are in your career journey. So we want to meet you where you are. And that's where one-on-one counseling comes into play. We do have one-on-one counseling support for all the students, and that comes in through two ways. One is through your assigned career advisor, that is me. But we also have second-year MBA students, whom we call as Benet Career Peers, who also advise students on certain topics like case interviewing or creating a function-specific resume. So if you can move to the next slide, Mike. I want to talk a little bit more about the one-on-one career advising support model. So this is a model that we have recently developed, and we've sort of segregated it based on where the candidate is at in their job search. So when you start exploring for job, you are in the applicant phase, and we help you through our one-on-one advising in job search coaching and strategy discussions to sort of exploring what might be the right fit for me based on all the hundreds of career options available. What is the one or two that might be a right fit for me? Through the strategy discussions, we help you find out, okay, can I be a good fit for this role? And how can I be at a position of a competitive advantage compared to several other people who are also looking for the same jobs? So through that strategy discussions, we take a deep dive into your story, your past experiences, what you're doing at Simon, and help you create a strong resume, cover letter, and a LinkedIn profile, and anything and everything that might be needed to create a strong application for this job. And that's when you reach the candidate stage, and we help you further even more by preparing you for interviews that await you. So you can practice mock interview with your career advisor. You can do behavioral interviews. You can go into specifics as well. So some industries or functions might require case interviews or even more technical interviews. And we do have resources to help you with just that at the Benet Career Management Center. And last but not the least, we want to make sure that we are with you throughout your career journey. So once you decide to get the offer or once you get a new offer, I mean, that's the best feeling that you can have, right? But we help you negotiate the best terms on that offer. And even when you graduate, 6 months after you graduate, up to 6 months after you graduate and become an alumni, we still provide career support to you and help you stay connected with us and chase successful career avenues. So that's about the career advising model. Now, I was in this event a few months ago, and it was joined by career professionals from all over the US. And this slide is taken from the GMAC Corporate Recruiters Survey. So GMAC is Graduate Management Admissions Council, which runs the GMAT program. And they asked recruiters or employers, hey, what are the top 5 skills you feel are currently important today? And you can see the answers that they gave. But when they were asked, hey, in the next 5 years, how do you see them changing? We saw that AI and being able to apply technology, stands out, and they become one of the top 5 most sought after skills by employers. So naturally, I was curious, hey, when you talk about AI tools, what do you really mean? What do you mean by AI tools, and what is actually needed as a part of what you're looking for in candidates? And we can see that on the next slide that these recruiters, Mike, if we could go to the next slide, they said, and almost more than 50% of them said, the top 3 skills revolve around conducting research, developing business strategy, making decisions, and acquiring knowledge and learning new business skills. And this sort of reinforced what we also hear from alumni, that AI is becoming more and more important, but at the same time, one of the biggest skills that remains in business is problem solving. So now recruiters are looking for students or candidates who can successfully use these AI tools to solve real world business challenges. And that is something that you would learn as a part of this course. And in the last slide, the one after this, we have some career outcomes. These are a set of certain companies that have hired from us in the past and continue hiring from us. We do have a good balance of geographical hiring, where 70% of candidates from the Simon MS programs stay in the US, while 30% of the candidates look for jobs globally. And when we speak to these companies who are our corporate partners, they too also reinforce the idea that AI is becoming more and more important. And for example, we recently spoke to an MSBA alum who works within the mortgage industry, and he's starting to see that chat descriptions of conversations with clients or borrowers are being implemented and to understand how borrowers can sell their homes. And this is just one example of one industry, but there are several other industries that have been using this. The adoption has been slow in some fields, given ethics considerations, for example, pharmaceuticals or healthcare. But AI as a skill is becoming more and more important in jobs these days. And I'm glad that you decided to take this first step to attend our webinar and know more about the AI program. So that is all from me, Mike, but I'm very happy to answer any questions that the prospective candidates might have.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Sankit. I actually want to bring one question to you before we kind of move on to some administrative things from the admission side and the Q&A portion of the webinar. But we see a lot of questions, and I know from the admissions side of things, folks that maybe don't come from a business background or a quant-heavy background, a little bit non-traditional, seemingly, as they apply to Simon. And I know we will evaluate anyone's candidacy and make sure that's a good fit for the Simon community, for the program that they applied to. But I would love to hear from you and in the Career Center how you, again, you already touched upon how you navigate, career exploration, but can you touch upon folks coming in from maybe not a business background, maybe not an AI background, and how you help support them successfully navigate the industry?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Mike, and thanks for asking that. We do believe that everyone's career journey is different, and there is always a way to find your sweet spot depending on your past experiences, your current experiences, and what you hope to do in the future. And I have a good example of a student who came from a very non-traditional, non-analytical background, and she worked in social media for media agency. So she had no background in analytics, no background in programming. All she used to do was sort of do branding and content writing for certain companies. But what she realized that data analytics is becoming more and more important. And that is when she decided to enroll into the Simon program. And now, when she was looking for jobs, she had this advantage over other candidates who were looking for similar jobs in the field of marketing analytics, who did not have, let's say, the analytical skills that she might have had. So, really, what had happened, how things happened for her was she already had this experience in working with marketing, but now equipped with this new knowledge from Simon on using analytics in the field of marketing, she was, able to find her competitive advantage there. And we at Benet Center helped her convey just that to the employers. And now she works in one of these companies that have been listed here as a marketing analyst and does a lot of data heavy work right now. So all I want to say is the Simon course work is great. The professors are very helpful, and all of these skills could be learned, could be taught, and you're going to become great at it. But every student is different, and through our one-on-one consultation, we really help them finding out what might be the best for them and how they can leverage this degree to chase successful career outcomes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for answering that, Sankit. And I hear that similar story from a lot of our alums out there. So it really does speak to the importance of connecting with your student service officers here, the Career Center, the Office of Student Engagement, your faculty that really help set you up for success after your time at Simon. One more thing I wanted to actually talk about and turn it over to our current student, Phil, again. Because to give a little bit of background, we soft launched this AI in Business program this year for the first time, and it'll be available to apply to officially for the first time in this admissions cycle. And Phil was one of the students who switched over to AI in Business because, obviously it excited him. He saw, where business was going in the future. And so I want to ask you, Phil, specifically, what made you switch into the AI in Business course, as well as what your career aspirations are and how you're being supported in that space?
Yes, Mike. Thank you for asking. So, I switched from business analytics from the AI and business. The reason why I made that switch is because, I see in today's environment, in today's working environment, AI is a really important factor to build your project, to be and also AI can increase your work efficiency. So for my career aspirations, I want to leverage AI, both AI and data analytics, to provide data-driven insights and to enhance customer experience, also enhance the product performance. So so I see the program, like the MSAIB, can like not only like equip me with necessary technical skill with relevant to like using AI, like apply AI to real world case, but also like I'm able to leverage AI to do more to know how to like make good use of AI to like build my case, to build my career. So yeah, I believe that answers your questions. Like if you have any other questions, just let me know. So yeah, I'm able to answer it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Phil. And I'll say too, soon you'll be able to schedule some time with Phil as an admissions ambassador, uh, and as well as our other admissions ambassadors in each program. So definitely check out our website very shortly about how you can do that and speak again more broadly to the student experience throughout the admissions process. With that, I would like to just kind of go over some things to keep in mind, some deadlines as you're, working your way through the application, making a decision if you get admitted to Simon. Um, it's very important why I bring this grid up. We are approaching that round one deadline on October 15th to apply in our first round with a decision offered to all candidates no later than December 15th. As you can see, the following rounds follow a similar pattern. You apply by a certain date, January 5th being our next admissions deadline. You would get a decision no later than March 31st. You might get a decision a little bit before that. Just depends on, the capacity of the admissions committee as they're reviewing all applications. And I definitely encourage you to keep these dates in mind and the grid in mind, which will be in your admitted student portal as you are applying. Really important, though, to set a timeline for yourself. Hopefully you're, making good decisions as you're applying to not only Simon, but I assume other schools as well. We all have different grids and timelines and decision dates. And so making sure that you're keeping this in mind as you are awaiting decisions, as you're making a decision to enroll, very important to keep the dates in mind. And I'll specifically talk to the international students that need to, sit for a visa appointment, do the I-20 work prior to that. Really encourage you to apply earlier, making sure that you have all that documentation ready to go as we open up that process, generally speaking, later in the spring. So make sure you're paying attention to those dates, keep those in mind. And definitely attend our webinars in the future that speak to these important points, especially if you are an international student going through that visa process. Another administrative piece, if you're on this webinar live, the email that is associated with your registration, you will get an automatic application fee waiver that will be applied to your account within 1 to 2 business days. So I know, again, if you're thinking about that round one deadline as it's approaching next Tuesday, make sure that you give it a day or two before you hit submit. You would bypass the payment screen for the application fee if you are on this webinar live. Final thing from me, next steps in the process. You heard very broadly about the MS in AI and Business program, our Office of Student Engagement, opportunities to get involved, and our Career and Management Services. Certainly great resources as you are here. In the meantime, you want to take some time to talk with us on the admission side of things. Obviously the doors are always open for those other folks, but a lot of these questions are going to funnel through the admission side of things prior to arriving. And so I definitely encourage you, if you have questions about Simon, questions about your candidacy, like I said, save those for us. Set up a meeting with us through that QR code, through that link, and depending what program you are interested in, you can set up some time with the appropriate admissions counselor. Again, soon you'll be able to talk to our admissions ambassadors, our current students in those programs, to talk about their student experience, their experience in the classroom, in the clubs and the organizations they're a part of. But definitely set up some time to meet with us. We love talking with you. We can evaluate your candidacy. We can send you personalized feedback through our Check Your Eligibility. And in addition, we just launched a chatbot right on our website. So if you have quick questions that you want to get answered, that chatbot Simon is right on all of our pages. Gives really great information that if you want an answer quickly or outside of business hours, that might be a great avenue for you as well. And we have webinars on all of the programs, which will all be in. I know we had a question about getting this webinar sent to you afterwards. All of these are recorded, so they're all up on our website for all of our programs. Definitely make sure that you check them out if you're in between a couple of programs as well. Great. Now we will do some Q&A for the last couple minutes. We're almost at time, as I know I answered a few questions that were already in the chat. I posed some to our folks beforehand that hopefully got you some good answers. So feel free to put some more questions in the Q&A function if you'd like. You can also email us at simon.rochester.edu if you don't want to do that right here on the chat. Looks like most of our questions that have been submitted are very admissions based, so I'm going to handle those. I saw a couple questions about GMAT, GRE. We are GMAT, GRE optional, so you do not have to submit or sit for the GRE or GMAT to apply to Simon. You can do that without that. That's just an opportunity if you feel as though that would strengthen your application or speak to somewhere that you lack in terms of quant or verbal or anything like that that's covered in the GMAT or GRE. You certainly could take it, but you do not need to take that test to be considered for Simon. I've also seen questions about graduate assistantships. There are graduate assistantships, part-time jobs on campus as well. All things that wouldn't be available to apply to until you are an enrolled student at Simon. So, you know, a lot of folks might want to try and line something up beforehand. That is extremely rare. The job portal really opens up just a couple weeks before you are on campus. And our program starts, generally speaking, late July, early August. We do not have a pre-fall program. That orientation program that Sanket was kind of talking about, some of them online modules you would complete before coming here, and then orientation when you are on campus through all of our folks who are on the call here that put on a great deal of effort to put those programs on. That happens when you are on campus before fall. See a question too about applying for 2 programs at a time. No, you can only apply for 1 program per cycle. So that is why it's important that you choose the program that's right for you. Connect with us at Simon to help you figure that out. Listen to these webinars, the backlog of the other programs that we have. Make sure you're making the right choice for you. And I think I will answer one more question because a lot of these, too, what I would encourage you to do is check out our frequently asked questions on the website because a lot of these are answered there. Connect with admissions counselors who can answer all of your questions. But yes, all of our programs and admission selection is based on a holistic review of your application. So everything that you submit, and you cannot change anything that you submit after you click that submit button. So make sure your application is, as strong as it can be when you hit apply. We take a holistic review of everything that you submit, and all of our scholarships are merit-based based on the strength of your application in that cycle. So make sure you are, again, having those conversations with us prior to applying. Make sure you have everything, check your essays for spell checking errors. Don't put other school names in there. I know we're talking about AI, feel free to use ChatGPT as a good draft, but, we value really an authentic application void of errors. So make sure that you are checking all your work, submitting the strongest possible application that you have. Again, I encourage you to set up meetings with us in admissions, ask questions through simon.rochester.edu, admissions@simon.rochester.edu. Use that QR code or that link to connect with us and ask us questions. We'll help you, talk through your individual candidacy. Happy to do that. But yes, we want to thank you all for joining us today as we are at time, and I don't want to keep our presenters longer than I promised. But I want to thank all of the folks that joined us on the call, all of our Simon staff members that spent the time to go over their respective offices and provide you a great overview of all that we have to offer here. So thank you so much, everyone, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day or evening, wherever you're Zooming in from. Thank you so much.